Welcome to Basement Faults and Catapult.
That's right. The Edmonton basement premier location for gaming news, gaming opinions, and Trevor.
And Aaron.
And Aaron.
We're your hosts. And so last episode we did Kenshi.
Alien Ice. Oh, Kenshi,
Kenshi.
right.
Kenshi. We did Alien Isolation.
We did it.
Then we
now
did
we did
Kenshi.
Kenshi. Right.
Oh my God. But we talked about getting into playing some of our favorite games, and Kenshi was brought up.
And that's mine.
That's yours.
And now it might also be Trevor's.
And yeah, it might also be mine. More to come with that. But
yeah, watch that episode, guys.
Yeah, no doubt. But today we wanted to play a game that's near and dear to my heart, which is Starfield. We want to get into the Starfield.
Now, I have never played Starfield. I'm not up on Starfield lore. The three things I know about it are, I think I've watched the first 5 minutes of it, where you're in the mine shaft, which Trevor tells me is a real place.
Yep.
And then, of course, the internet discourse, but it's not fair to judge a game if you've never played it.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to my experience with it.
Yeah, you start out as the Argos Extractors employee. So you basically start out working a full-time job. So that's always fun. And then
working 9 to...
Yeah, exactly. You're working 9 to 5. Actually, you're probably working. I don't know what the hours are on that planet because every planet has different daylight hours depending on its rotation.
Yeah. Red Faction video win.
Yeah, exactly. But Starfield's near and dear to my heart. I mean, I'm a big Bethesda fan. There's a lot of like jank that comes out of Bethesda, and people joke about it, or buggy game releases that eventually get better. Have you played any of the Bethesda games?
Oh, yeah. And I blame Fallout for this, because I was a big Fallout kid.
Yeah.
Tim Kaine has a shrine in my home.
Huh?
But Fallout 1, Fallout 2, such a major part of my junior high, my teenage years.
Yeah.
And then when Fallout 3 finally got released, it was like, oh, I spent literal days playing that game.
Oh, man.
And then that was, of course, my dip into Bethesda, and I was aware of Bethesda like on the outskirts. Like I had played Oblivion.
Yeah.
Before that, I had played Morrowind.
I was going to ask if you'd played Morrowind, because I've never played Morrowind.
Oh, okay.
I understand it was like kind of like your almost like 2D graphics.
Morrowind was the first, I guess, serious attempt at a 3D world.
Yeah.
And it shows.
Yeah.
It's very, GoldenEye graphics.
Okay.
For those of you who didn't get to play GoldenEye 64, I'm sorry. But
yeah.
It's very evocative. It was all very polygonal.
Well, Morrowind was 2002.
Yeah.
And I never got into Morrowind. In 2002, I was probably playing still a bit of PlayStation.
Yeah.
I would have still been playing like Lords of the Realm 2, Stronghold Crusader, or eventually Stronghold Crusaders, a lot of Supreme Commander, kind of a lot of those real-time strategy game was kind of my vibe back in 2002.
Hey, the 2000s were kind of the heyday, like the last hurrah of the RTS, right?
Yeah, 2002 was like a weird time because I wasn't gaming as much. I was kind of into cars and sports cars and kind of driving fast and cleaning my car and waxing my car. Like a person who's got their first car and like gets a little obsessed.
2002, I had just started high school.
Yeah.
So very different worlds at that point.
Yeah, very different worlds at that point. Yeah.
Deus Ex was my big jam.
Oh, Deus Ex was amazing.
I love Deus Ex. Me and my buddy would spend hours just talking about it. Max Payne.
Yeah.
Did Max Payne.
Yeah.
What else was kind of that era? Because Max Payne changed how third-person shooters were.
Yeah, bullet time.
Yeah, Max Payne and Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
All right. They both changed how third-person games would be played.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good time for gaming. And I know Bethesda, they released, some people say Bethesda, but I always say Bethesda.
Well, I pronounce it like the city that they're founded from.
Bethesda.
Yeah,
Bethesda. So that controversy is over. It's Bethesda.
There was a controversy? I'm mad that there was one.
I've actually seen Reddit conversations where they're like debating, is it Bethesda or Bethesda? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's Bethesda.
Yeah, because that's the city.
But what do I know?
Bethesda Naval Hospital.
I'm just an English-speaking plebe. What do I know? But then we had, of course, The Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Oblivion was my first foray into Bethesda. That was in 2006. And Oblivion ate my life. You know, I was a big, I was a big Star Trek fan. And
love me some Star Trek.
Like Patrick Stewart, right?
Yeah, the Patrick Stewart era.
Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise, right? Love it. And so I was big into that. And when I heard that, of course, Patrick Stewart was voicing the Emperor Septim or whatever his name was.
For all of 7 minutes.
For all of 7 minutes, and then... But so I was like, okay, cool, and that wasn't the only reason. The graphics were good.
Fair's fair. That's probably as long as they could afford Sir Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, if you got Sir in front of your name, that's it.
Yeah, you get to start charging.
Yeah, you're charging.
Yeah.
So Oblivion, man, I played Oblivion for probably over 1,000 hours, easily over 1,000 hours. I had the collector's edition.
The Elder Scrolls did not grab me until Skyrim. Skyrim was when I played and enjoyed Oblivion.
Yeah.
I played, and Morrowind was tough.
Yeah.
Now, for a lot of people, Morrowind is like the one because you can do so much BS in Morrowind.
Yeah.
But it was too much for me with Morrowind.
Yeah, I remember looking at Morrowind and kind of going, it's not for me. It's not like graphically,
Yeah, and the graphics are a hard sell, especially nowadays, right?
Yeah, and I understand you're building games. In 2002, graphics were a little bit more challenging.
Yeah.
But I loved Oblivion.
However, with that being said, the developers had to optimize the living daylights out of their game.
Yeah.
Like they optimized that. No AI vibe coding or don't worry, DLS will smooth it out.
Nobody knows what game optimization is anymore. If you look at like any game developed in Unreal Engine,
it's
in the
so
last
gross.
In 3, 4, or 5,
like the memory leak errors.
There's zero optimization. People have forgotten how to optimize textures or optimize world loading or optimize.
Although we might see a renaissance of that because of just how expensive memory has become.
Yeah, no doubt. I really hope that they do optimize games better because, we've had games that, like Skyrim, you can dump in a high-res texture pack and that game looks amazing. And Skyrim doesn't consume a ton. Like you can play that on an old potato.
I played it on my 2060.
Yeah. And so anyway, so I played Oblivion and I remember like the Oblivion gates and shutting down the Oblivion gates and like honestly I should go back and revisit it, but then Skyrim came out and
they re-released Oblivion, right? Like a remaster.
Yeah, they've remastered it, but I hear they made a lot of like censorship choices, like some of the outfits were more covered and things like that, and like if you're going to remaster games you got to stick to the original.
Modnexus.com. Just hop onto Modnexus.
I mean,
they'll get you skimpy.
For me, it's just about respecting the original artwork. Like there was nothing wrong with the original artwork. I don't know why they had to change it, but anyway, that's a different
conversation.
I mean, if it's remastered, at least it'll look better. It'll probably play nicer. So, like, I might give it a shot someday. But I've already played Oblivion for thousands of hours. I don't need to revisit it.
Go back. Yeah.
Fallout 3, of course, was 2008. I did not play Fallout 3.
Oh.
I got into New Vegas when that came out.
Oh, but Vegas wasn't Bethesda.
No, New Vegas was
Black Isle.
Black Isle, yeah. So it switched over to Black Isle.
Who were the original creators of Fallout. So having them back in the helm, that's why a lot of people think New Vegas is the best of them.
Yeah, I bought New Vegas. I remember I went to Future Shop. I bought New Vegas.
This is back when you bought games and they came in boxes.
Man,
big.
Yeah, back when like I bought the Tomb Raider game because of the box. But that's neither here. I mean, hey, you're a teenager. You're like, Tomb Raider, boobs, nice.
Lara Croft.
Yeah, sex sells. What can I say?
And, while that is certainly true, Lara Croft will always have a special place in my heart just because of how awesome the platforming of that era was.
Oh, yeah.
Tomb Raider set the standard for platforming.
The puzzle game, like the puzzles, the figuring out the levels too, was actually really, really amazing. It was
amazing.
Yeah, it was a good game, and the graphics did suck.
The reboots, I want to say 2013 from Crystal Dynamics.
Yeah,
or Squaresoft.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm actually Trevor and I talk about what games we're playing before we start filming.
Yeah.
And I had mentioned I started Dispatch, but on top of that, I've also been replaying through the reboots.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I guess they are reboots. So I just started the first one, 2013,
Nice.
which is, I think, Tomb Raider, and then there's Rise of, and then
Yeah.
Shadow of.
Yeah.
And I'm loving them, man. Like,
Nice.
they were great games. They really captured the sort of the first one. You're a proto Lara Croft. It's Lara Croft, but like not the badass dual pistol wielding adventurer yet. She's just a young woman trying to prove her father right.
Nice.
And
Young upstart.
And she crashes on this island, and it's like total, like, everything's.
Yeah.
And then, she slowly starts to build up her survival cache. Like, you gotta track down wood and rope, and you make, like, your first bow.
Survival games.
And then,
that's where it's at.
Well, it's not even like a survival game. Like, there is
survival mechanics.
Yeah, there is a very limited crafting thing where you can make arrows and stuff for your bow, but
I like it.
And then an upgrade tree for, like, you need 6 wood and 2 cloth, and then you can make, like, wrapped limbs for your bow to make the draw stronger.
Nice.
Stuff like that. But
some light mechanics.
There's such a really good character arc as she slowly goes from, like, this scared young woman into, like, this just badass survivor who's taking down demonic Oni.
Yeah, I mean,
which I realize is just saying demon twice.
Right. I was recently on Reddit and I saw a conversation about strong female main characters in games.
Yeah.
And how there was an article posted that was talking about how, hey, it's great to have strong female characters in the game. And they kind of commented, they're like, we've had like Samus, Metroid, we've had Tomb Raider, we've had strong female lead characters in video games for a very long time. And
Fantasy Star 4.
Yeah. So
I forgot.
So they made the point and they said, look, the thing with most fantasy video games of any kind, where, you're telling a story, is that most video games are a power fantasy. Mm-hmm. Like, so, those games where you start as nothing, you're a prisoner, you escaped, and then you're gonna kill the god of the world or whatever. Yeah. And so it's like this common theme of every game is kind of, to some extent, a power fantasy. So any main character is going to be the kind of center of that power fantasy. It's what I liked about Kenshi is that there is no power fantasy. You're just getting your butt kicked the whole time. But
you did not like that at first.
No, it was rough at first, but I got to tell you, it works. So we move on. We went to, of course, 2011 Skyrim.
Yeah.
And I've definitely, between my hard version and my Steam version, I've had at least 1,000 hours in Skyrim. And I've done like 4 or 5 playthroughs. Loved Skyrim. Like, that's a game I could get lost in for months and months. So
do you remember the controversy when they up like everybody who owned Skyrim on Steam got the free special edition or whatever?
Yeah. And so actually it was fun because you could I could take my purchased Skyrim key and just add it to my Steam library, which was nice too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Steam's a great platform. We can talk about that. So Skyrim was amazing. I prefer fantasy games. So I prefer, bows and arrows, magic, swords. Once you get into gunplay and guns, I kind of am like, hey, I'm not that interested in Fallout New Vegas. I wanted to love it. I played it for about 3.5 hours, never touched it again.
Oh.
I just couldn't get into the grindiness of, okay, I have a gun, but I have no ammo, but then I have to find ammo and it's very scarce.
You can craft ammo.
You could once you have crafting materials. But I was like,
fair.
I was sitting there thinking to myself, like, at the time where I was with my headspace in games, I didn't want to craft. I wanted to just play in the world. Like with Skyrim, you kind of jump in. You don't need to craft anything. You don't need to build anything. You just start attacking stuff. They drop things. You get better things. And you can just kind of keep going. Whereas I found out with Fallout New Vegas, you had to be putting a little more thought into it.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time...
And that's fair. That's a fair assessment.
At the time, I just wasn't willing to do that. But then Fallout 4 came out. And...
at that point, you were there.
I was down with Fallout 4. And a lot of people like New Vegas more. But the graphics in Fallout 4, the gameplay...
So,
yeah,
if we're talking storyline, New Vegas all the way.
Yeah.
But in terms of like graphics and gameplay and just overall polish, Fallout 4 to me was better.
Yeah, I found Fallout 4's polish to be really nice, and it was a comfortable transition.
I mean, Bethesda jank aside.
But it was a nice transition from Skyrim to Fallout 4. So it was
It's
easy.
on the same engine.
Yeah, it was very easy for me to move over. A Creation Engine, I believe, is the same engine that they've been using.
Yeah, probably. Don't go me on that.
But
I think they've been using that engine since, if not Fallout 3.
Yeah, they just keep adding to it.
At this point, it's the legacy code is like.
Oh my god, yeah.
What's code debt or tech debt?
Tech debt, yeah. Well, it's amazing because with Starfield. So Starfield came out, and I always used to joke, like, I'm a big Star Trek fan.
Again, it's just on the same engine.
Sci-fi. It's on the Creation Engine. Yeah. I love sci-fi, I love Star Trek. Starfield came out, and it was like Skyrim in space. It's like Skyfield, Star Rim. There's so many play on words with it. I love it. But Starfield for me was like, okay, I had just come off the rungs of No Man's Sky, which if you were a first release day purchaser of No Man's Sky,
I was.
For the first year, you were just miserable. It was a terrible game. There was nothing to do but float around, and
it was pretty bad.
It was so bad. And No Man's Lie and all these other things. And they've done right. They've done right.
Yeah, no, right? that is the perfect example of a studio going, hey, this is the game we promised. Yeah. And they're still updating it. Like, they just put out two new updates.
They've really come around. As a development studio, mad respect for them releasing a game that was not ready for release and then finally delivering what they intended.
And then they're also developing Light No Fire.
Yeah.
Which is... So No Man's Sky is, I think the way they talked about their world gen is, hundreds of thousands of worlds, but, not quite an inch deep on that.
Yeah.
Whereas with Light No Fires, it's going to be the one world, but it is going to be the size of the world.
I love that. Yeah, so we coming off of No Man's Sky, and then, of course, Starfield comes out. It's Bethesda. It's what I know and love, Fallout 4, Skyrim, and it's like, okay, Starfield, let's give it a try. And watching all the release teasers and watching all the content, media content, and release information, I was so hyped for this game. And for me, it delivered. A lot of people compared it to No Man's Sky and were like, hey, be the fast travel with load screens. They were expecting a world with no load screens.
Right.
And as we know, if you've played Skyrim, there are load screens. There's no getting around it. You fast travel to Riften, load screen.
Yeah. They hide it cleverly.
Yeah.
But yeah, load screens.
Yeah, and they do nice little tool tips and stuff. So with Starfield, there were a lot of complaints about it and a lot of negativity. But, for me, it is a solid game that I really enjoyed. I've lost, I don't know, over 200 hours into Starfield.
Kenchi's getting there.
Kenchi's almost there, actually. But it's a very, very different gameplay. But I really wanted you to try Starfield because
I'm excited for it.
I really did thoroughly enjoy it.
Cool.
An hour is enough time to kind of get some introductions and go through kind of the initial story and get through some beats and kind of get a sense for the game. So yeah, I'd like you to try Starfield out and let the folks watching us know what you think.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Is it a fault or is it a catapult?
Yeah,
right. I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out. Oh,
all right.
And we're back.
We're back.
All
right, cool.
We made it.
So,
yeah.
Starfield, my boy.
Starfield, my boy.
What you think of the Starfield, my boy?
Don't come from us, Ireland. We're
such a bad, it's Hollywood stereotypical.
It's like Dick Van Dyke levels.
Oh, yeah.
But moving on to
Starfield.
I liked it.
Yeah?
I mean, I played it a little fast and loose.
Yeah.
And if this were a more serious playthrough, I might have made different choices.
Right.
But I saw the character creation was really lovely. And I appreciated the choice to have it after your intro accident, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
now it's, oh, okay, this is a really thematically good part.
Yeah.
They could have done it a million ways, and it would have been fine, but this
Yeah.
was a really good one.
I honestly wish you'd have had like an hour to just play with just the character
Yeah.
creator, because there's so much you can do.
Yeah.
Facial features.
I was looking, I was like, oh yeah, I could lose hours here.
It's incredible.
So I just went with, I guess, whatever the default character was.
Yeah. Default female 1.
Yeah, I clicked buttons in traits and background, and that is it.
That is it. Yeah. Rando Calrissian.
Rando Calrissian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good old Rando.
Yeah.
Got some good moments with Rando Calrissians in my life.
Yeah, it's a good name. It's a good name. Very good Star Wars play.
Right,
I like it. Yeah.
right.
Good for sci-fi.
I think I was introduced to it in Destiny,
Oh.
like the game Destiny.
Yeah.
And specifically in the community, that's what, because you would get matchmaked when you're entering a heavy area,
Mm-hmm.
and generally that's random, right? So they were called randos, and then there was this idea. Well, it's space. It's a space-based game, so we got to Star Wars it up. So it became
Rando Calrissian. I love it. I love it.
And I don't know if that's like 100% the origin, but that's where I was first introduced to it.
Nice.
But yes, so Rando Calrissian, and I adore. I've had many a good time with a rando, and just quite a few bad times too. Let's be fair here. But moving on, the game.
How'd you like your first day on the job at the Argo Extraction?
I touched the rock. I saw space. I heard the sounds.
I heard the light. Go to the light. Follow the light. The light is great.
It was, it was fine as far as like intro moments go.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it. Yeah. I would have made different artistic or design choices, but the mining, that sort of area, that was perfect, right? I would have done it differently, like in game, and this is the first 5 minutes, so no spoilers here. But you're entering the shaft. You're told what the job is. Like very good, very nice, and then you break into a new sort of unexplored tunnel.
Yeah,
and you touch the magic rock.
Yeah,
and the magic rock sends you on a vision quest.
Yep,
and then you recover in the hospital. Bang on, I would have done all of that. Where I would have changed things is Bethesda immediately had you meet the guy who wants to talk about the rock, and then the pirates and all that. Yeah. I would have had it. You're back in the barracks, and you're all kind of talking about, oh yeah, we're gonna make so much money, and then the pirates attack.
Yeah,
and now your entire sort of your friends, your family, these people are all destroyed, gone.
Yeah.
And then you escape on like a little chitty launcher, and that's where Barrett discovers you. It's like, hey, I found you. Oh, they're coming back. Get on the guns. Do all then you get your space combat tutorial. That's what I would have done differently. I don't think it's better. Yeah, it's just how I would have done it.
I tried somebody's RPG at one point, and the beginning tutorial or the beginning of the game was like, you're in the village. You leave the village, you come back, the monsters destroyed your village, your dad is dead, and you're like, no, my father, I will avenge him. The problem is that like
you kind of need to be there.
The game didn't spend enough time storytelling, so it didn't actually expand upon the relationship with your father.
I didn't give a flying pachoodle about Lynn and Heller.
No one cared, right? And so like, if they would have done a start, and this is where it's kind of tough, if they would have done a start where they're like, you're going to get to know the people you're working with, build a bond, and then we're going to kill them so that you now feel something.
Or at the very least have the raid happen, and not everybody's dead, but a good proportion is.
They should have killed Heller, because like your initial vibe of like, oh, he is going to die.
Yeah, that red flag was just like...
Yeah, they should have done it.
They should have done it.
It would have been like, oh no, Heller, I really liked you, because Heller's so like upbeat. He's like, I'm a miner and I love it.
I'm a happy miner. The finest mind of his generation.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Half-Life 2 it, guys. Kill him.
Yeah, exactly.
So, again, I would have made a different choice.
Yeah. The only one thing you didn't do is my first playthrough. There's like the other guys that are already like using their mining lasers and stuff. I was like not paying attention, and I haphazardly like walked into someone's mining laser, and I got zapped and I got damaged, and they actually comment on it.
They're like, idiot.
Yeah, they're like, what are you doing? Like, no, hey, you're supposed to be careful. What are you doing? Right? Watch where you're going.
The bright red laser beams.
Yeah. And I did it totally by accident too in my playthrough, and I was kind of hoping you would, but you almost did. You ran and you jumped over the laser arc. If you would have tapped it, it would have mentioned it. I just like that the game has some of that awareness in it. Yeah,
I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because there were those, and it's interesting that you mentioned that, because for me there was those 3 moments where you could choose sort of a religious background, either the Enlightenment, the Universalists, and the Great Serpent. And if you choose those are pretty big things. Yeah. And I would have appreciated dialogue options.
Yeah, I agree.
I would have appreciated special, and Bethesda's known, they've done this. They do it for, if you have low intel, you get to say stupid stuff.
Yeah.
It's not the first time they've done something. So
there are throughout the game, there are a number of dialogue options that are available because of your choices in your character creation.
Okay.
So the Great Serpent, you will have some,
but mostly in the DLC then.
Actually, I don't even know because I haven't gone the Great Serpent route. But in the game in general, so when you're talking to different people about different things, you will have dialogue options that will say in brackets Great Serpent background, and then it'll give you different options
grayed
to say
out
anything.
Because you're not, or it'll be
there's if you're dealing with, if you go the enlightened path and you go and deal with the enlightened group, then you actually have options that are basically allowing you to have certain dialogue with them that you otherwise wouldn't.
Okay.
So there are some perks there, but not, in the first bit of the game, I loved your commentary where you're like, Great Serpent guides me and guides my path. I was like, there really should have been that fanatic Great Serpent
right.
dialogue options. The other thing that's always an interesting choice for me is whether or not they choose to voice the main character.
Right. Yeah, that is such a controversy, and it's never going to go away.
Yeah, Mass Effect 2, you have a voiced main character.
Yep, Mass Effect 1, main character.
So in Mass Effect, you've got voiced main characters, and so you have a personality and a persona. Whereas in the Bethesda games, everyone else talks, but you never talk, and that's very common for them in their games.
They gave voice in Fallout 4.
I don't even remember. Maybe they did. Yeah,
No, definitely, because
because you talk to the dog.
Yeah, you talk to Dogme, and he's like, who's a good boy, and things like that, right? And that was a big controversy. People were like, oh, we hate that. And it's like, I don't.
I'm torn between it, because then you have to record all of those dialogue lines in so many different voices.
Right, so it does limit.
Because you probably need 6 to 8 different voice options to do that in a reasonable way. But anyway, I thought I'd mention it because it's I tend to be kind of quirky and do my own narrative. I'll read my parts, just as kind of a fun thing. But yeah, it's an interesting choice to not have dialogue.
I had fun, role playing my Great Serpent devotee.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
he got my ball.
So, what do you think of Barrett?
I did the 2 seconds I had him.
Yeah,
filler character.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're gonna be like, major plot twist later on.
He is a major companion character that there are several. So you met Sarah.
I did.
You're like, I'm going to love Sarah, and I was like, no, you are not.
No.
Love to hate potentially.
Love to hate. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big anti Sarah Morgan fan. The voice acting, don't get me wrong. The voice actress, amazing job, perfection.
Solid.
The way the character is written. She is the most naggy, nitpicky character you will ever meet in your life. Every little thing you do in the game, nothing you do is right. Nothing you do is good enough for her. I'm just like, oh my gosh, wow. Yeah, she is, it's constantly, everything you do in the game, it just you see a pop-up that's Sarah disliked that.
You're like, Sarah!
Yeah.
Damn it, Sarah!
Yeah. It's actually one of my biggest gripes with the game, short of accidentally holding E and leaving your seat while you're in space combat.
I did that.
You did that.
I found that one out.
My biggest gripe is that all of the characters are effectively lawful good, or neutral good, or chaotic good. They're all good. So things I want to become a murder hobo, space pirate,
purify this moon in the name of the Great Serpent.
Yeah. So if you're I'm going to do a House of Arun meta playthrough where I just want to cleanse the universe of all the non-believers. You can't really do that because the companions will constantly just be like, dislike that, dislike that, dislike that. So like there's a few gray areas around thievery. So if you're stealing things from people's homes, things like that.
The Great Serpent put that in my path.
Oh, Sarah doesn't like that. But Andreja, you did not meet Andreja, but if you get the chance to play the game, she's like, well, it was just going to go to waste otherwise. So like actually stealing is kind of encouraged by a couple of the characters.
Interesting.
But
listen, if the Great Serpent didn't want me to have it, the Great Serpent wouldn't have put it there.
Wouldn't have put it in my path. Yes. I love it. So what are your other...
If the Great Serpent wanted you to have it,
yes,
he would have given you better locks.
Exactly. He would have given you better locks that couldn't have been picked by my digipicks. Cred sticks. Cred sticks. Yeah. I picked up a few collector's edition cred sticks.
That's hilarious.
I love having in-game currency out of game. Like I've got my Skyrim septums and now I've got my Starfield cred sticks. So kind of just I'm a collector. I like my game stuff.
Yeah.
But
that's all you should.
So what are your other impressions of the game? You got to go through the whole...
It was gorgeous. Yeah. Like 100%. This is a team that's been working with this engine for decades at this point. Yeah. They know the ins and the outs. And while there's certainly probably quite a bit of tech debt there, they are able to squeeze everything out of that engine.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
Honestly, if you get a minute, go on YouTube and check out some of the like Creation Engine's physics videos that they've done. There's different objects in the game that you can like steal, obviously. And they did some testing where they like spawned thousands of physics objects into the game, and then they'd like open a door and they all spill out. Honestly, it is the most amazing game when it comes to the physics side of the engine and how many objects it can just handle all at the same time.
That is very cool to hear.
It's cool.
We didn't have music.
No.
So I can't speak to that, unfortunately, but the audio, the spatial audio was really amazing.
Yeah.
Like when I was having my little feral goblin moment in the mines, I would hear a miner and it would be like, woo, and then I turned and suddenly it's in this ear.
Yes.
And that was really cool. Guns sounded good and meaty, right? Like my little pistol is like, bang! I was like, whoa.
Yeah, and the timing of the audio is totally bang on.
Right? And bang on. General rule of thumb, if my pistol does not sound like the opening to a heavy metal song like that, I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah.
Not interested. Yeah. But that pistol barked.
Yeah.
Which is, again, something I like. The assault rifle felt... probably too good.
Oh man, you were just having fun. You were like, pray and spray, say hello to my little friend.
The Great Serpent gets my bullets in my pants.
Yes.
When I got the sniper rifle, that one was interesting because it made like these little plink sounds.
Yeah.
Right? Rather than the it was more like
well, some of them have
so I think there might have been a silencer on the weapon or something.
Some of them come with they have suppressors, they have different components to the guns, and eventually you can start playing with different mods on the gun, and you can kind of like build the gun that you want. So there's like suppressors, there's different muzzles that you can get that have different effects, and it changes the sound, it changes the recoil, it changes a lot of the functionality of the weapons.
That's very interesting and something that I appreciate in a game. So kudos to the gun.
Yeah.
Gunplay was very, very basic, as you saw, and hopefully what you'll see on the playthrough is I cheesed the DPS strat, which is just get the fastest firing gun you can and put it into their skull.
Yes, and you didn't run out of ammo, which was amazing.
Yeah, well, it got close.
Your accuracy was good on the headshots. You're like, focus the fire on the heads.
Yeah. It got close a few times.
Yeah.
But so that was cool. I don't see a lot of complexity in the gunplay, which is fine. It's not a gunplay game.
Yeah.
But if you do put gunplay into your game, it should at least have a modicum of complexity, and it kind of looked like it did a little bit because there was the shield guy, the pirate boss I fought at the end there, and he had a shield, And in the space combat, I was told energy weapons for shields, ballistic weapons for body.
Yeah.
So I would assume that if I had switched over to a laser type weapon, I would have had an easier time with the shields.
I don't know. I usually just pray and spray myself. I don't get too deep into the gunplay. I'm just like, gun goes boom, dead guy.
Gun goes brrr.
For me, I've always seen the like the 3 white squares that you were seeing as a shield. I just see those as those are like layered health bars. So it means like I have to deplete his health bar 3 times. Well, it's like a boss, right?
Okay.
So I don't know that it's actually shielding, not in the sense of like energy weapons like the ships are. But it is like a gauge of how many times you have to knock his health bar down.
That's interesting.
Because he's got stacked health, and all the bosses are like that.
No.
Yeah.
Well, then I retract that statement, and I'm sure someone in the comments, get in the comments, will be like, hey, actually, there are damage types.
So there actually are EM weapons. So you can use EM weapons, which can affect, instead of hit points, it affects their, essentially their consciousness. So if you hit them with EM weapons, you can actually do non-fatal takedowns of the characters.
That's boring. The Great Serpent does not desire
non-fatal takedowns. You know how many times I've used EM weapons? There's one mission that requires it. That is all. I am not a peaceful playthrough kind of guy. I am like murder hobo space cowboy.
There we go.
Yeah.
See ya later, space cowboy.
Yeah. See you out there, space cowboy. So space combat, what'd you think of like the starship combat?
So it initially was a little confusing because I'm used to more arcadey stuff. So
yeah,
WASD is everything, right? This is forward, this is up, this is down, this is left, right. So understanding that once I got to my desired speed, stop pressing W.
I still hold W when I'm flying.
Right?
You don't need to, but I do.
I do too, and I think that speaks to sort of where we're from in terms of generational gameplay. But I did have a blast with it, chunking down their shields and then blowing them apart with the ballistics and monitoring your power levels. That brought me right back to like Tachyon, Wing Commander, like all those old space sims where you had to manage your power grid, right? Yeah. TIE Fighter, I think, had it too.
I have X-Wing versus TIE Fighter on floppy.
The diskette, yeah.
That's a game I should like pull up GOG Games and pull that down and see if it still holds up. Yeah.
Apparently, in terms of gameplay, it really does. Yeah. But of course, graphics-wise, we're beyond.
The last game I played like that was the
first one.
It was the last Wing Commander game. The very last Wing Commander game, which actually was released in like 7 or 8 episodes.
Oh, with Mark Hamill? He was in Wing Commander 3.
He was in Wing Commander 3, yeah.
4 and 5.
Yes, he was. And he's supposed to be in Star Citizen, but we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
But yeah, so I played the final Wing Commander game was actually released as free download.
Oh.
And it was 7 or 8 episodes. You had to download all 7 or 8 episodes and just kind of kept adding to the game. But yeah, I remember that was like the last big like space game that I played. And then of course, Free Star, what was it? Free Space. Yeah.
The one where you're a trader, right?
I played that a lot too. Yeah. That was post Wing Commander 4 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went from Wing Commander to X3.
Oh God, X3. I lost hundreds of hours to X3.
And then there was this weird little game in between X3 and Wing Commander called Terminus.
I never played Terminus.
My buddy had a Mac.
Yeah.
And it was like one of the only games he had. It was Terminus and Sid Meier's Elvis Atari.
That's Mac life for you.
Especially back then.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like this was the era of like the iMac, right?
Yeah.
What flavor is your Macintosh? Mine's pink.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So
I can tie a rope to mine and swing it around like a ball and chain.
Yeah, so like that was the era.
Yeah.
I think the G3 was just on the horizon.
Yeah.
Right? And of course Mac aficionados are like, the G3 is going to be the most powerful workstation. It's like, yeah, but nothing works for it.
Can't run anything on it. Yeah, it's crazy to me how Mac still exists today as a computer. But for people who don't play games, and who don't do anything with like development on a Windows productivity side, I can see it being good.
Yeah, what I've really discovered with the Mac is, and it wasn't always like this. It just sort of moved into this. Was just when it's locked you into its ecosystem,
Yeah.
everything works so good.
The only reason Apple has money is because they tied everybody into iTunes using the iPod.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why Apple still exists today.
Once you're locked into the ecosystem, it's so easy to just continue into the ecosystem.
Well, I need to have my iPhone now because I have iTunes, and I need to. now I need my Mac because I need iTunes.
Because I need to commit and sync it all together, and it's really clever that way with the way it's locked people into the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Try getting out of the ecosystem after you're in, right?
Well, dual boot. I mean, now you just set it up with dual boot, and you get Windows and
that's
Mac
true.
OS.
Yeah, you do.
So if you're savvy that way. Yeah. I just don't buy a Mac, but
yeah.
So nonetheless, we're not gaming on a Mac. We're gaming on PC.
We're gaming on PC, baby.
Steam.
40K.
40K. Yeah.
4K.
4K. Warhammer 40.
Warhammer 40K.
So you played the game.
I played the game.
You got into Starfield.
I got into Starfield.
You got to see the cool. So let's talk about your ratings.
Okay, let's talk about my ratings. Graphics, I believe, is our first one.
Let's talk about graphics.
And that's a 9.
Yeah, I love it.
It's gorgeous. It's amazing. The few parts where I was like, okay, it was a little funky. I noticed a lot of repetitive textures in terms of like the space, the prefabs, and I get it. They're prefabs. They're all going to look the same. Yeah. But it was like, oh, I've seen that gold foiled before. I've seen that one before.
Yeah. One of the biggest complaints is because there's it's kind of like almost procedurally generated points of interest when you like land on certain places in the planet.
And it'll populate it with POIs.
It will, but there's like not enough diversity in the POIs.
They got like 7 POIs.
Yeah, like it's not enough. They need to have at least 3 to 4 times more diversity in their POIs, because you'll be like, I'm landing at this station to stop these pirates, and then like within 2 hours, you're at the exact same POI, just with different pirates or different bad guys.
And sometimes not even different pirates.
Yeah, so the POIs are a little disappointing because, like you said, it kind of gets repetitive after a while. There's enough content in the game that if you just go do something else for a while and then come back to POIs, it's not so bad. But it was for such a large game, the lack of
mile
diversity,
wide, not an inch deep.
Yeah, mile wide, not an inch deep. Yeah, there needs to be more general content. Yeah. And everybody agrees.
That is you found it, Aaron. That's the one.
That's the consensus.
Yeah. And that's fine. I get it. And kudos on the team for swinging as wide as they did. Right.
I mean, with the amount of work they did put into it, it is a gorgeous game. There's no denying that.
Yeah, I can't. Those graphics are beautiful, and the only reason they're not getting a 10 is because I do not believe that game would look half as good on a previous generation graphics.
It wouldn't, and I would agree with the 9 out of 10. I wanted so badly to give this game a 10 out of 10 on graphics, but the when you're walking around the cities, some of the character models, because there's so many different like sliders on the character creation, and it's kind of randomizing characters, some of them are very weird looking, and some of them the lighting doesn't really capture well on the facial models, because there's so much diversity in the character creation. So almost like less is more in that case. Yeah. But also there's a lot of, I don't know if they've patched it, but there was an extreme lack of like facial expression when they're talking, like eyebrows moving. It felt very static and very like stuck. But I noticed in my last playthrough that there were a lot more facial features and movement. And I don't know if that's a change in the game, but I know that a lot of the non-companion characters have like an extraordinary lack of facial expressions. And I just expect that from games now, that a game with high-end graphics will have more emoting and more emotive capability in their facial expressions. And I think that's maybe a limitation of the creation engine, to be honest.
Yeah, and we were talking about tech debt earlier. Like, the creation engine is decades old at this point, right?
And yet it's so powerful.
It's duct tape and clown jizz. Like, they are praying that sticks together.
Yeah, but it works.
It does. It works, and it worked. You know what? It works well.
It's gorgeous. Yeah.
So graphics 9, absolutely. I'm docking it a point because I don't believe those, like, a lot of that's the hardware.
Yeah.
And if I were to run that on, say, a 2060, I'd be looking at something very different.
When I compare to something like Cyberpunk, which a lot of people have given 10 out of 10 for graphics, I don't, on the other hand. It's close. The ray tracing is really nice. But Starfield is nice without any ray tracing.
Yeah, and again with Cyberpunk, it's a niner for me because of the fact that these games are now very over reliant on the hardware to pull its weight.
Yeah. And even on a 3090 Cyberpunk, like it chugs.
It chugs.
It chugs, even on a 3090. So for what they achieved in Starfield versus what they achieved in Cyberpunk, I would give Starfield the better graphics.
The edge.
Overall. The edge, yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Which brings us to audio. Unfortunately, I didn't get to use the music because we're streaming this shite, but I've heard very good things about the operatic or the sort of synthy classical soundtrack they use. And on that note, I really loved the sound engineering.
The audio engineering is so good.
Absolutely was just in love with it. Just the sounds of the guns going off, the explosions. I thought a grenade went off in my face.
Yeah, it was cool. There's actually on one of the planets called there's a city called Neon.
Yeah.
And Neon is like a bit of a drug-induced mild trip city where like people can like
just go.
They basically like use this gland from one of the fish to just like get extraordinarily high. And in Neon, it's perfectly legal to do the drugs and have access to the drugs.
Because the fish is right there.
But the drug's not allowed to come or go. You have to do it while you're there.
Oh, interesting.
And so there's a club scene where it's a very weird club, but there's a lot of like spandex and a lot of like cool funky techno beats. And there's a DJ there called Aurora Borealis. So Aurora is the drug. Borealis is the DJ. So, yeah. What Aurora does as a drug is slows time. So it's actually useful in fights. It's slow motion. And it's really cool. And you eventually get like a perk. I won't ruin the game, but you eventually get some skill in the game that allows you to also slow time, which is fun. And then you can do both. Which is kind of cool.
I'm tripping.
Totally tripping.
The Great Serpent guides my path.
But the club vibe and the sound and the way the bass is in the club, man, like the sound design and the sound engineer of this game is just it's good.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed it. It's an 8.5 for me. Docking points because a few of the voice actors just weren't putting in their work that day.
Yeah, there's one line that Barrett constantly says, which is like, "Excusez-moi," and he says it so often that I actually kind of hate Barrett a little bit. And again, I love the voice acting; it's phenomenal.
Yeah,
but on the side of variability in what some of the characters say and some of their catchphrases, I could have done with some more variability.
Yeah. I didn't get there, but there was a few moments with the miners, and they're like, "Yeah, I will get right on that." And I was like, "Oh,
yeah."
Oh.
I mean, I wouldn't love working in a mine. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's true, but then it's like, "Yeah, I'll get right on that."
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Yeah, right. Like, there's a way to deliver a flat line. Well, then there's okay. Come down to Lucky Mike Emporium. Yeah. We have really good deals.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think it would be fun for you and I to like create a mod for a game where we redo all the voice lines.
The voices?
We're fired.
Oh, day one DLC fired.
Yeah. So gameplay. I know you only got to play for about 52 minutes.
I got a kick out of it. But again, I saw the pit.
Yeah.
So I see that there's 101 things to do.
Yeah.
But you only get to do a little bit in those things. So I thought it was really cool. I liked look, you're picking up raw resources and I see the path that it wants you to do, but I don't see, like, once you've done it, like, you can't become, for example, in Eve, I guess would be the closest analog I can go to. With Eve, you can set up and run an entire mining conglomerate.
Yeah.
Right? You can mine the minerals, you can process the minerals, you can turn those into bullets and then sell the bullets.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you can do the whole run. And I don't see that happening in this game.
I have like 8 billion ISK in Eve, and I play Eve for like 15 minutes and I get bored of it.
Yeah. And that's another issue with Eve, right? I personally just don't like the players of Eve. I find that entire Eve, and what was the other one I had? League of Legends.
Yeah.
I just find it to be such a toxic, self-cannibalizing fan base.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of things with Starfield that people have basically said, like, you can do mining. You can set up an outpost that has mining and extractors and all these other things, and you can do manufacturing, and you could build things and sell them. You absolutely can do that. But
there's no narrative to it.
The outpost building is if you want certain perks in the game and you want to unlock certain things, you need to do research. And to do research, you need minerals, and you need to mine, you need to gather things from around the universe. But you can also, if you have enough inventory in your ship, you can actually just gather enough over time to kind of do something the same. So a lot of complaints have been like, well, outpost building is kind of like unnecessary.
Yeah. It's faster, but
it's grindy. But the thing is, the nice, beautiful thing that I love about it is that you can choose how you want to play. Do you want to just go through the story and shoot stuff and blow things up and just get weapons and forget modding them, because you're going to get drops with mods on them already? So maybe just you rely on drops and you don't do outpost building. You can do that if you want. There's a whole ship combat aspect to it that you can completely ignore those perks and not go down the ship combat path. Although there's certain missions in the game which would be extraordinarily hard if you don't unlock some of the ship perks. Like, you can't get a better ship or a tier, say a class B or a class C ship unless you unlock those perks. Yeah. So there's a little bit of, the game kind of pushes you in a certain direction to be like, well, if you want to have a convenient playthrough, you really need to unlock ship perks and combat perks. But you don't need stealth, you don't need persuasion, you don't need any of those perks. There's a very cool functionality of the game, which I will not ruin for you. But when you get to the end of the game, there's New Game Plus.
Yeah, the modes. Rebirth or whatever.
Yeah, and a lot of these games have New Game Plus now. So the nice thing is New Game Plus, you can carry over your level and your stats. And so if you play it enough times...
when you start the New Game Plus, is it on the hospital bed where he's like, oh, do you remember who you are? Or is it at the mine shaft entrance?
No, so I won't ruin it for you.
Okay.
But there's a whole narrative to how you end up in New Game Plus that a lot you kind of end up.
I'm more curious.
You skip over the intro. You don't do the intro again. Yeah, you don't have to do the intro again.
So you're like already in the lodge or whatever.
Pretty much. Yeah. Okay, so you kind of skip over that initial like tutorial phase.
Okay.
And you kind of just get back into it again.
That's interesting.
You're kind of birthed into a new version of the universe, and there's actually
so you can change up your perks and your
you technically can, yeah.
Okay.
But there's certain, and you can do that throughout the game. Actually, there's different things you can change. You can do like plastic surgery.
I could give up my Great Serpent Devotee.
Not in your initial game through, but I think you can do that through New Game Plus. I'd have to verify that, but. One of the cool things is that
I'm never going to.
There's a little bit of gimmicks in how that happens, in that there are somewhere between 6 and 8 different variations of the universe. So you can come into the universe, and I won't even mention any of them. You'll have to play it for yourself. But different variations of the universe, totally different things can be occurring. And it's subtle. Some are subtle, some are not as subtle. But it's kind of, there's motivation to go through New Game Plus, and a lot of people have done it like 10 times or 15 times. I've only done it once, but I started playing the game, and I started playing with console commands, and just for fun, console commands make it so you can't get Steam achievements.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty standard.
Pretty standard, and I knew that ahead of time. But I wanted to play with the console commands to let me exist outside of my ship in space. This is one of the bigger complaints in gameplay people have had, which is let me float around outside my ship. And let me like go and board someone's ship by flying from my ship into their ship. And they, like, I get it. That would be cool. But that's not an option. So I was like, I'm going to leave my ship. So I did the console command to like offset my distance from where I am to outside of my ship. And it worked. And I was like, that's really cool. Somehow I screwed up, and I continued. I thought I had saved the game prior, and then reloaded my save prior to the console commands.
But
I mess up. And then I play, and that was only like 15 hours in. And so then I ended up playing the whole rest of my 120 hours with no Steam achievements.
Most because you had done the console.
So that carries over to your New Game Plus.
It does.
So I had to start a brand new game.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, hey, that's life, right?
So avoid console commands if you want the Steam achievements.
Or
even
download
some
a
of the
mod
mods.
that allows you to still get Steam achievements.
There is one, I think, on maybe Nexus mods.
Oh, probably. Those
but
guys
on
got everything.
on Steam, there's actually achievement safe mods and non-achievement safe mods.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's very interesting. So gameplay rating.
Gameplay, I'm going to go ahead and give that a 7.5.
Okay, that sounds fair.
And again, it was just the gunplay was pretty repetitive. There was no. I didn't see. Not only did I not see space for weird shit to start happening or interesting byplay to start happening, like, and you hear the stories. You've told me a few stories where you're like, you pop the air tank of a guy and he goes, poof.
Yeah,
and that's awesome. That's good space combat.
There's some good strategy to how to use your bullets.
Yeah, but ultimately, it's a different form of red barrel.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and like you can get actual sniper rifles that have like 5-shot clips where you can do like really long distance sniper shots. There's
really kapow, kapow.
There's some variation in the guns and in the weapons.
Yeah, and I saw that there was the rifle, shotgun, pistol. So I'm just assuming it has the standard pistol, semi-automatic, like a little pistol, burst fire pistol, probably an SMG,
laser rifles.
Yeah, and then again probably within the same variations, like just either Star Trooper like pew pew or Stormtroopers pew pews or more. Bzzz.
Yeah. Exactly.
So again, I appreciate what they're doing.
Yeah,
I do. And I see the repetition coming. Yeah. And I'm not mad about it.
Guns are guns.
But guns are guns.
Guns are guns.
And just the idea of like exploring 101 empty planets kind of fills me with existential dread.
That is one of the bigger challenges to the game. Like I mentioned, the variation of point of interest not very high. But also, there's a lot of places you go. Like you go to a moon. There's no flora. There's no fauna. There's like 3 resources. You can scan the whole entire moon in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But there's nothing there. There's nothing interesting.
Yeah. And I think one of the defenses was, well, space is empty. It's like, yeah, but this is a game.
Yeah, and like I'm on the fence about that. I appreciate the beauty of I'll go to a moon.
The stark emptiness.
Stark emptiness. There's beauty in that for me, and I do appreciate that. But I do understand why a lot of people don't like it.
Yeah.
For me, it was the perfect mix of this is what space should be.
Yeah.
But for the typical gamer, there's got to be more intrigue and more interest. Like, I'm on a moon, but there was an ancient race of aliens here, and there's something that I have to do with that. But there's actually no variation in humans either. The entire game, you just have humanity. There are no aliens. There's alien life.
Like those trilobites.
Alien animals, for sure. But there's no, it's the only humanoid life is humans.
To that, I would have just been like, well, I understand that, but it would have been cool to have variations like on Aurora, for example.
Yeah.
Maybe everybody is getting wild neon piercings, right?
Yeah.
Like, change up the human form.
Yeah.
Maybe on another planet, everyone's very heavily cybernetically modified, so they got like very visible cybernetic arms or something.
But the narrative of the game is very much around humanity leaving Earth and exploring and colonizing the stars.
Yeah, very Isaac. Its foundations.
It is.
It's very the human empire.
It is very much the human empire. Yeah.
Well,
so did you have fun?
I did.
Yeah.
I did have, especially in the low grab when I was like, ka-chow!
Yeah.
And then I just unloaded a clip into a guy's face.
Yeah. Literally, your aim was impeccable.
Yeah, well, the bad habits when I was a child.
That's fair.
Way too much Unreal Tournament late at night.
Oh man. Yeah, headshot. Mega kill, ultra kill.
And with that being said, with the gunplay is a weapon firing that fast, the recoil would be significant.
Yeah.
Especially in a lower gravity environment. Like you're thinking there's no recoil. No, there's more recoil because of that. Because there's no gravity working against it, so all the force is generated there.
Yeah, it's definitely more arcadey in the gunplay, because if they'd have made it really true to physics, you're right. Like in the low gravity situations,
I would not have been able to keep it.
Firing the gun would be like really hard to maintain.
I would not have been able to keep a bead.
The weight of the gun is required to kind of hold it down. Although one of the things you haven't experienced is there's actually 0G combat. Where it's cool. There's space stations, and there's times when you take over someone's ship. If you've disabled their grav drive, there's no gravity on the ship. So you get on the ship and people are just floating around. And yeah, actually, when you fire the gun, it actually pushes you back. And,
okay, so there's that recoil.
Yeah, actually, I really wish that the game had leaned a little heavier into the zero-G combat.
With a laser weapon, there wouldn't be.
Yeah, I think there's a zero-G combat perk as well. But there's, I love the variation of combat in the game because, yeah, if it was just gun combat, it'd be kind of boring. But with the gun combat, the space combat, the zero-G combat, it's enough to chew on to get hundreds of hours of gameplay out of this game.
And that's a legit thing. Yeah, so overall, I did have fun.
Good.
I did. And I think what 7.5 is more than reasonable. More than reasonable for that sort of game.
I've often said on different conversations online that for me, Starfield is a solid 7 out of 10 game.
Yeah, I could definitely say that.
There's certainly things about it that I would like to see better than that. Like, in my heart, it's an 8.5 out of 10 game. Like, I love Starfield. But if I'm being like realistic, it's a very strong 7 out of 10 game. Nothing wrong with it, but there are things that could have been better. And now that they've added like vehicles and some of the DLC, like I'm happy to bump it up to an 8 out of 10 overall because I think that the game has gotten only better over time. Yeah.
I'll probably buy it when they have their like super special Ultimate Edition with all the DLC and all of that. And I might wait for a Steam sale on that one, you know. Yeah. But overall, I did have fun with it. I did.
That's good. I'm glad you did. It is a near and dear game to my heart.
It's not going to grab me like Kenshi grabbed you. But.
No, and honestly, like if I'm comparing Kenshi to Starfield, I think that the general populace would enjoy Starfield more than Kenshi.
Oh, absolutely.
But for me, Kenshi is better than Starfield. I appreciate the survival and the gritty and the hard mechanics of it.
The thing about Kenshi is it's maybe this wide, but it's deep.
Yeah, like Starfield, the reason some people liked No Man's Sky more than Starfield was because they like just get out there and explore. Starfield, getting out and exploring feels a little bit lacking. And Starfield is very much a story-driven game, and the main story quest is actually kind of really lacking.
Yeah.
There's a number of other side quests, side storylines.
Fill up your time.
Way better than the main quest. Like some of the side stories are so good and so in depth.
That's wild.
They talk about like the war and the terrormorphs and like
Terrormorph.
Some of the history of like where the grav drives came from and how there was a cover up, and there's all these other like story elements that are so amazingly good. And then there's just I really appreciate Starfield and what it is. But if you don't like a story-driven game, Starfield's not your game.
And that's fair. But I like a good story.
But then there's game, and I love story-driven games. Skyrim, The Witcher 3.
Oh, The Witcher 3.
Starfield, Fallout 4. Like, give me more.
Every once in a while, I'm like, I could start another Witcher 3 playthrough.
Yeah, I have all the Gwent cards. Every single one of them.
Like, in-game?
In-game.
Okay, good.
No, yeah. No, so my second playthrough, I was like, I'm going to become the Gwent master.
You're going to become a collector?
I'm going to get every single Gwent card in the game, and I have. And it's like, feel so accomplished. And man, I've wasted my life. Yeah. But so Starfield, man, it's
it's a catapult.
Catapult.
It's a catapult. Yeah. Like if this is kind of your jam, it's a good game.
I love Starfield.
Yeah, absolutely. I had an hour and a half with it. I can already see myself playing it a little bit more. Yeah. Right, and that's really the big one. If you can see yourself playing it a bit more, boom, you're in.
Yeah, I love space games and I love sci-fi.
I would have taken a lot more time with the character creator.
Yes, and maybe you should. Maybe you should just get on and play with the character creator for half an hour. Just have fun with it. But,
I'm good.
I love space games. I love sci-fi.
Yeah,
Starfield really scratches an itch for me that
if we Star could have Trek Kenshi in space. Yet. Kenshi in space, man.
Space Kenshi. I mean, Kenshi's kind of in space because they're on a moon.
Yeah, it's very Endor, if you will.
They're like the second moon of a planetary system with two moons and one planet. Yeah, it's very cool. I think my final word is going to be, I'm going to go to the one place untouched by American capitalism. Space! I could never deliver that as well as Tim Curry. They had to do
that so many times. That take was the take that we have was him try like that was his best take.
Tim Curry, love you.
Love ya. Have you read his biography?
I have not.
Vagabond. It's really good.
You know what? I'm going to buy it. I'll
Put it
read
on the list.
I'm reading Patrick Stewart's right now.
Oh.
Yeah, because I'm just a nerd.
I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd. I'm a nerdy. I'm a nerd.
Look at me, I'm white and nerdy.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Weird Al.
Oh, my God. Weird Al. Also close to my heart. But anyway.
Okay, but yes, we're done.
Any words that you'd like to leave for Starfield?
I would have changed a few things narratively at the beginning there, but ultimately it seems like it is a well-executed game with a very unified vision of what they want that game to be.
Yeah, I agree.
I think there are limitations inherent in the design choices, and unfortunately, if you're going to claim this massive open, like, we have 100 planets, you're hitting that No Man's Sky thing where it's you have to deliver on that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a deliverable thing.
It is. Yeah, it's hard when you have to create so much game content. It's hard when you promise one thing, people start to make assumptions about what it's going to be.
Yeah, so
and then if it doesn't live up to those assumptions, it's
you're the
sad.
jerk, which isn't great.
But now the problem is they're working on like Starfield 2.0.
Yeah.
And
I have a bad feeling about the use of generative AI in that.
Yeah, so do I. But the challenge that I have is they haven't the devs silence.
Yeah. Well, in some cases I think that's better because now we can't make those assumptions, right?
Yeah.
I would like little status up like once every 6 months, but like, hey, we're still working on it.
My understanding is that the next DLC that they're going to be releasing, or next iteration of the game that they're releasing, is going to be having to do with the Terran Wars.
Yeah, because aren't they like just shoving all the resources into the next Elder Scrolls?
Well,
Tamriel or whatever.
So Elder Scrolls 6 is it's in the works.
It's been in
the works for a while. We don't have a ton of information, but we are expecting to hear something this year. That's a little bit more meaty.
I'll believe it when I see it.
But the challenge is with the success of the Fallout TV series, Bethesda's actually been busy doing a lot of Fallout stuff.
Yeah, so Fallout 76
offshoot
packs,
games, packs, marketing campaigns, and advertising for Fallout 4.
Yeah.
For Fallout
76,
76, and for the show.
Yeah,
and so
because they just added the Ghoul to 76.
Yes, Bethesda's awfully quiet.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit concerned about it, but I've never been disappointed eventually by Bethesda, right?
Eventually it's a good game.
Eventually Starfield was one of the best out of launch games. Like I didn't run into a single crash or a single bug. Other people did.
I got Skyrim CTD'd a lot for me.
Yeah. And I again, Skyrim, I never run into a single crash or a single bug. Now I run mostly mainstream hardware. I'm an IT guy, so my systems are like mint, but and I update my drivers like constantly, unless there's bugs with them. But different topic. But Starfield for me at launch felt like a complete game.
That's good.
And it was what I expected, and it wasn't for a lot of people. But credit where credit's due. Bethesda.
They do good shit.
You do good work.
I'm not like I said, it's 7 out of 10 is really good.
Eventually.
Yeah. There's a reason why Bethesda jank is a byword in the gaming community.
It's true. Well, with all that said, good luck.
Have fun.
Don't die.
Die.
Bye-bye.
Let's touch the weird artifact. Because Dead Space taught me that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
It's always a good thing. Touch it. Just touch it. I see everything.
Yeah.
I know everything.
I am one with the universe. Yeah.